I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're speaking with author Sarah Cornett Hagen, hailing from the coal-built town of Jenkins, Kentucky. She captures the spirit of her Appalachian roots and her personal trials in her very poignant book, Life Notes by a Kentucky Woman, Looking for the High Point, Volume 3. Drawing inspiration from her cherished home, Still Point, her works range from introspective philosophical writings to rich poetry that captures life's varied patterns and wonders. We are delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Citi of Books for helping us put her in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel. Sarah, thanks so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
This is quite a book. I don't know a lot about this region, so this kind of immerses me in it. Tell me a little bit about why you wrote the book and how you went about writing the book.
Well, I'm still in the middle of this book. I was born and raised in the industrial part of the United States with coal, C-O-A-L, and I've never gotten away from it.
Yeah. Well, it's an important part of your town. It's the backbone of your town. I'd imagine.
It's the backbone of the United States is one of our industry. It's here, you know. It's a resource we have practically used up. So what's next? You know, I'm really just frightened because I've seen us, deplete this, and you can't replace it. We can't replace these resources.
Right. Especially since it seems like the government is so hostile towards coal. And like you said, it's so important as a power source for us, right?
Well, I was raised on coal, yes. I mean, I know the struggles and I know what it was like to live during that time, and what they really did do was build these little towns that around where the coal was extracted. They made little towns, and they had already figured out how to pick the places where you could reach the coal the easiest and blah, blah, So it's been a long-term thing in the United States, how we've done this. And there's a whole Black region here. I mean, we've left it in ruin.
Yeah.
And I'm very disturbed about that.
Exactly. What do you see changing that can help the industry and help the people that live in this region that depend on it and help the United States that depends on it?
Well, first we have to educate people. Well, I've lived long enough to realize that people don't know how to cook anymore. At my age, that was something I enjoyed and still do, taking the raw food from the earth and fixing it and cooking wonderful things and, for nourishment. We don't eat like that anymore. We don't do anything the way we did, say 20, 30 years ago. So I don't personally do not see how we have to start with the young people. We have to start with the kids in grade school, but need to teach them how to eat, how to cook, how to fix things, how to go back to natural eating without all these additives. That's killing us, the people in the United States, well, worldwide probably, but especially in the United States, because nobody goes to the kitchen and cooks raw food anymore. They take it out of the package, they do, mix with something, but it's never like going and doing it yourself. So that I've lived long enough to see that myself. So I don't know where this will end up, but I know we need to address it, and we need to start educating the children.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about your writing career, the books you've worked on, the books you've published.
The theme seems to have found me. The books I've written all end up about coal and about the earth and about feeding the masses, about nutrition, about how to protect things, how to take care of ourselves. how to honor, the earth as such, and that kind of writing. That's what I generally write about.
Yeah, yeah. And this is volume 3. So you have 2 other books in the series of Life Notes by a Kentucky Woman?
Yes, they're all. When I once started, I mean, I've written lots of things that's been submitted to places, but this is my own stuff, and I've been writing for many years, as you can tell. But um, it's a continuing story. This is when I really realized what I was doing. I kept writing the way I see things, because life does change, and not always for the better. We don't know, and every individual should look at their own life and the direction it's taking, and try to leave something that is really worthwhile, because you're not going to be here very long. None of us are.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So I'm trying just with myself. I just my personal journey, and I'm just one of millions of people, but we need to really think about how the mark that we're leaving on the planet.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, to tie all that together, I've written about all kinds of different things, but that's the way my mind works.
Yeah, yeah. Well, your mind works in a good way because your writing is wonderful. 2 of the poems that you've written have received a lot of recognition. One is Blackberry Heaven, and the other is Colors of Life. Could you tell us a little bit about those?
Well, I could, and I'd have to hear them repeated, because I wrote those 2 a long time ago. The poetry itself, but I always write nature poems, things I see with my own eyes, and the planet. I have that real feel for being on the planet at this time, and the planet is very alive to me. The animals and everything, what I've lived with them personally. I've read enough about things, so I can sort of see the ties of the whole planet. I get that feeling, and we are dependent on one another to make a better world. And if we don't, we're going to lose what we've got. That's the scary part to me.
Exactly.
We need to focus more on this kind of thing, because the world is always bigger than you are. The world's bigger than your family. The world is big, big, big. But if we all get a united voice, we can do something to help save everybody. That's the way I look at it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I understand you're set to publish another book, Mountain Lady, as a tribute to Mount Ashland. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Oh, Mount Ashland. Well, I lived in Oregon for, I think, 20 some years. I've forgotten exactly how long, but I was there. I loved the state of Oregon. And that is the big mountain that's there. We've got the United States is full of beauty.
Yeah.
And Mount Ashland was in my sight every time I'd open my kitchen door. It was there, and it really takes a hold of you and places you. So it's like, oh, there's my mountain. It's a new morning. It's a new day, and it just sort of keeps you inspired. For me, it did.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You look up at this beautiful work of God's mastery, and it is inspiring. It inspires you that life is renewing, life goes on, and that life is infinite in many ways because of what we see in nature, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And I have managed to live most of my life like that. So I feel very blessed I've been able to do that. See?
Yeah. Yeah.
I realize it's, for people, I think occasionally I'll think about a child that's born in the middle of a big city, who never ever sees touches anything except concrete, unless it goes to a park or something, and does not identify with that on a personal level. Has to not feel what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You can't identify with something that you've never experienced, So that, I hope a little bit of my writings will inspire people to look deeper to things around them and who they are. And I feel at this stage of my life, I know I don't have much longer to do this, but I do have a goal of mine that I want to leave for the people to take up and to continue what I have started.
We wish you luck with that. We wish you good health, and we wish you a lot of success with your work. This book is terrific. It's called Life Notes by a Kentucky Woman Looking for the High Point, Volume 3. It is written by Sarah Cornett Hagen, and she has lived in the coal-built town of Jenkins for a good part of her life, and she has captured the spirit of Appalachia and the spirit of America in her wonderful, wonderful book.
By the way, it's not Appalachia, it's Appalachia.
Appalachia. Okay. That's one of I'm a Yankee. That's how we say it. We say it wrong.
I know. See, that's the thing I laugh about, because I hear people say things, I think, no, I haven't lived there since I was 17, but I know the language is, it's a deep part of you.
Yeah.
The sounds you heard as a child
exactly
will stay with you. So, and most people do mispronounce that. So
yeah. Okay.
I forgive you.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thanks so much for joining us here today on Spotlight, Sarah.
You are so welcome.
And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.